This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
Books, PD products, science, fashion, and glam talk. From Bollywood to Hollywood, it's Meet and Greet with Dr. Afshan Hashmi. Every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Right here on K4HD Radio and Talk4 TV. And here's your host, international speaker, educator, award-winning entrepreneur, and best-selling author, Dr. Afshan Hashmi.
Hello everyone, this is Dr. Afshan Hashmi live from the Florida studio of K4HD Radio and Talk4 TV. And folks, as you know that Ramadan is going on, and I have been invited at many places to cover the recording to show it on this show. So this is the second part of MCMC and MCMF Iftaar, that is the breaking of the fast, in collaboration with the Montgomery County Executive. So, and this show is dedicated to my beloved Tufal uncle and Sajda auntie. And Tufal uncle, also known as Tufal Ahmed was his name, left for his heavenly abode, and he was the founder of this MCMC and MCMF. So, and this show is dedicated to Tufal uncle and Sajda auntie. And Tufal uncle and Sajda auntie, if you are listening in heaven, this show is dedicated to you, and I miss you a lot. And this is to my friend Samina Ahmed, who's daughter of Tufal uncle and Sajda auntie, who's my best friend. Having said that, friends, now I will ask Rebel to please go and play the first commercial, and then I will come back.
Would you love exposure for your business, product, or service to over 300 million potential listeners? Send an email to info@talk4media.com. And now let's hear from some of our sponsors.
Chapter 2: How Jugaad leads to multi-sector success stories in India, including definitions of the Jugaad management principle business model. Of the book The Modern Mughal Mentality, New Strategies to Succeed in India and the Global Marketplace. Inspiration. True Jugaad is an inspiration on how to create products using technology that meet the price-value equation. According to a Harvard Business Review article featuring expert Prahlad and Mashelkar, most innovation programs are built on the assumptions of affluence and abundance. We see the rich and the young in both the developed and the developing countries demanding environmental friendly products and services. They also believe that affordability and sustainability are crucial to driving successful business today. New technologies and radical business models are important not only to penetrate mass markets in India but in the entire world. By reconfiguring all areas of the business structure, they will pull.
A monstrous infection is spreading worldwide. OMG, is this a simple infection or a deliberate attempt to ruin the human population? Or maybe it's bioterrorism. What is this global infection and who is spreading it? Help us find out. Go to Amazon and search for The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection. The human race needs your help to make this go viral. Go to Amazon.com and read The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection to find out what happens next. Go now! The world is depending on you.
And now, back to Dr. Afshan Hashmi's radio show.
So, folks, before I go further, I want to remind you that these are my two books. The first one is The Modern Mughal Mentality, New Strategies to Succeed in India and the Global Marketplace. And this book was an Amazon bestseller as well as hot #1 new release on Amazon. And I want a documentary to be made of this book. So all those documentary producers, please contact me at Afshan at drafshanhashmi.com. And my second book, The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection, was also an Amazon bestseller. And I want a movie or a web series or a TV serial to be made of this. So all those producers who make TV serials, web series, or movie, please contact me at Afshan at drafshanhashmi.com. And I have already written the script and I'm looking to sell the movie rights or the book rights. So all those literary agents, if you are listening, please contact me at Afshan at drafshanhashmi.com. I'm a full-time author, so I want all those literary agents to please contact me so that you can pitch me into big publishers. Having said that, and my email is afshan at drafshanhashmi.com. And Rebel, can you please play the first commercial for the sponsorship of the show?
Hello everyone around the world. This is Dr. Afshan Hashmi and with K4HD Radio and Talk 4 TV. And here friends, I am live in Maryland in a country club, and I just wanted to say that please give me sponsorship if you want these shows to go on, because it takes a lot of effort and money to produce these kind of shows. Having said that, friends, please give me sponsorship, and cheers and bye bye.
So, folks, today we will see the part 2 of MCMC and MCMF Iftar, that is the breaking of the fast during the month of Ramadan, in collaboration with the Montgomery County Executive. They do this every year, and this is the flyer of the Iftar, and it has like their agenda, and this is what they gave 2022 at a glance by MCMF. So these are the two things, and now I will ask Rebel, can you please play the movie of the Iftar?
And for the rest of this month, I want to say thank you and look forward to celebrating with all of you. Cheers.
We would like to request County Executive and all our MCMF board members to please come on the stage. Anyone from the MCMC board members would like to join us, please join us for the proclamation. Please come.
I'm going. I'm coming. Thank you.
We've all assembled. So a proclamation from Montgomery County, Maryland. Whereas Montgomery County takes great pride in being a community of people from diverse cultures, ethnicities, and religions, including the Muslim American community. And
whereas Muslims have made far-reaching contributions to the modern world and are known as the founders of operative surgery, the first university, the first hospital, and have made great strides in spreading other cultures throughout the world. And
Whereas the Muslim community has contributed to local economic development, expansion of business, education, workforce training, healthcare, public safety, and housing in Montgomery County, and
whereas Montgomery County residents, employers, and employees can benefit tremendously from better understanding how Muslim Americans are an integral part of our community. And
whereas Islam is a religion of peace and the Ramadan month of fasting, prayer, and charity is observed by Muslims around the world, including in Montgomery County, Maryland, now therefore be it resolved, the County Executive, Mark Elrich, Council President Glass, and the entire County Council of Montgomery County, Maryland, hereby proclaim March 22nd through April 20th, 2023 as the holy month of Ramadan in Montgomery County. We encourage our residents, employers, and employees to join us in recognizing the contributions of the Muslim community and to participate in celebrations during this month. Signed, the 21st day of March in the year 2023.
I would like to request kindly council members to please join us on the stage.
Thank you very much. And thank you.
I think we can have a whole.
And I might add, the MCMF this year has majority of the board members are sisters or females.
Making movies, so you are disturbing too much.
But there's stuff going on. Why don't you stand there and then you can take a movie?
They came up to me like a minute before they
Well, yeah,
our parameters here. Oh, I didn't know.
I would like to now, Senator Van Hollen is a great friend of the community. Unfortunately, he was unable to join us today, but he has sent a video message for us that will be played now. So kindly, if the IT department can.
Remember the life and legacy of Dr. Akil Rahman. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Chris Van Hollen, and I'm proud to represent Maryland in the United States Senate. And I'm especially pleased to be joining you, the members of the Montgomery County Muslim Foundation and Muslim Council, and others in our community for tonight's special Iftar gathering. As we come together to mark the end of today's Ramadan fast, we also remember the life and legacy of Dr. Akil Rahman. Dr. Rahman was a pillar of our community, whose good deeds impressed me from the very first time I met him. He used his role as a founding and guiding member of the organizations gathered here this evening to change our community for the better. And he set a powerful example for all, an example of goodness and grace that is especially relevant during this time, given the meaning of Ramadan. The month of Ramadan is deeply rooted in the values of community, of sacrifice, and empathy. And I am moved by the great work of MCMF and what you have done to live those principles year-round, to put faith into action. Through your food pantry, you continue to meet your mission to create a hunger-free, and hate-free society. During the worst days of the pandemic, you dispersed huge amounts of food to needy families. Your contributions help our friends and neighbors weather hard times, keep them fed and nourished, prepare our young people for college, and so much more. You've been there for our community during times of tribulation and times of triumph. And I'm proud to partner with you in the entire vibrant Muslim community in our area to lift up each and every one of our fellow Marylanders this month and every month. Ramadan Mubarak to all.
Thank you so much. If anybody's here from Chris Van Hollen's office, I'd like to thank them and communicate our thanks to Senator Holland. Also, we always miss him, but we now have to move on to the agenda. Thank you. We're expecting our Comptroller, Honorable Brooke Lemon, and on our Lieutenant Governor, Miss Aruna Miller, and they are, unfortunately, they're like probably be joining us a little later. Oh, Aruna is here. Aruna, well, Lieutenant Governor is here, so can I please invite Mr. Sultan Chaudhary to please come on the stage and invite the Lieutenant Governor.
She's sneaked in. She's a Montgomery County girl, so we expect that from her. But wonderful. We're so grateful that you're here, Lieutenant Governor. We're proud that you could make the time. And this is the first time, I think, a South Asian woman could be Lieutenant Governor of this great state of Maryland. And I think she's also the one of the two female Lieutenant Governor in the state of Maryland. Before her was a Kennedy, Kathleen Kennedy Townsend. So that's a great honor. We like to welcome you to this beautiful event. And you are not new to our community. You've been with us most of the time, all the time. In fact, I recall the days, sub-freezing mornings that you came to MCMF, help us, yourself and your husband David, distribute food, and we do appreciate it. So you are our Lieutenant Governor, and I want to welcome you in that note. As a matter of fact, Ms. Miller, Aruna Miller, was born in Hyderabad, India, and immigrated to the United States when she was 7 years of age. She graduated from the Missouri State Science and Technology with a degree in civil engineering and chose a life of public service in Maryland. She spent 25 years working at the Department of Transportation in Montgomery County. And she lives in Montgomery County with her husband David, where they raised 3 daughters. So Lieutenant Governor Miller's achievements, daughter of immigrant, and engineer-turned Lieutenant Governor, should be an inspiration for young people because the possibilities are endless in the state of Maryland, Montgomery County, and the United States of America. We should take note of that, our children, our daughters, and ourselves. And I recall in one of the interviews, she said, "We see you and we'll fight for you. We'll address the inequities of the past and build a Maryland where everyone will thrive." So that's the promise made, and we'll hold you accountable for the promise kept. We already got it, and we want to be more active with you, and you should be more active with us. That's what we invite, and that shows you're here at this evening. It's not easy to come on an evening like this, and we welcome you. And please come to the stage, share a few words with our community. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. Ramadan Mubarak on behalf of Governor Westmore, myself, and our entire administration. I am honored to be here, and thank you, Sultan, for your warm introduction. And I'm honored to be here with County Executive Mark Elridge, and I see Councilwoman Kate Stewart, and Council President Evan Glass, Councilwoman Dawn Key, and her husband. We serve in the administration together, so it's great and to see you, and I'm sorry if I didn't recognize everyone, but to all the elected leaders here, thank you for being here, celebrating this great occasion. And I also want to give a great big shout out to our latest delegate in the Maryland General Assembly from District 16, Delegate Sarah Wallach. I have to tell you how honored Governor Westmore and I were when she came to an Iftar celebration that we had last week on March 28th. And Governor Moore stated, and I think all of you already know, that Delegate Bullock is the first Muslim American woman to be elected to the Maryland General Assembly. So be appointed, and we are thrilled to have your leadership there. So I also want to say thank you to Sabah Rashid. Where's Sabah? Come over here. Sabah, thank you for your friendship over the years. Thank you for your leadership at the Montgomery County Muslim Foundation. Not just leadership, but she leads with compassion. And I've known Sabah for so many years, and I am so, so deeply grateful for everything that you do. So thank you. Thank you for your friendship over the years. And also, thank you to Asif Hussain from the Montgomery County Muslim Council. I want to thank you for your leadership as well. And finally, this moment would not be here for all of us if it wasn't for the giant that is missing in the room today, and that is Tufal Ahmed. I have known Tufal for many, many years, just like all of you. He's been such a great leader, not just to the Muslim American community here in Montgomery County, in Maryland, but throughout the nation, and to others as well. And I have to tell you that over the years, he counseled me, he mentored me, he shared every bit of his love and affection that he does, as you all know, with me. And I'm grateful to have known him. And he passed away, as you know, on January 12, 2022. And there's been a big void in the community for all of us here in the state without his leadership. But his legacy moves on because he taught every one of us the importance of service, to give as much as you can and as often as you can. He would invite me many times to the Montgomery County Muslim Foundation's food drives, and I would, come there, and he would heartily, hug me and tell me how happy he was to see me. And I'm just so thankful for the legacy that he left behind, not just in me, but I'm sure to everyone that's in this room today. So with that, again, I want to say Ramadan Mubarak, and how thrilled Governor Westmore and I am to have the privilege of serving all of you here in Montgomery County, as well as in the state of Maryland. Now, much like the Montgomery County Muslim Foundation, we also want to create a hunger-free and a hate-free society. We are thankful for the leadership for the MCMF in this space. We also want to encourage a life of service, much like what the Montgomery County Muslim Foundation encourages the members to do. In fact, just yesterday, Governor Moore announced the new director of a new department that we are creating, whose sole purpose is to encourage young people and the greater community to lead a life of public service overall. And this is the first time in the nation that a state will actually create a department totally focused on service and civic innovation. And again, we learned this from every one of you, how important it is to give back to our community in every way we can. So again, this is something we all share together and our administration looks forward to implementing. We also believe that we want to create a state that's inclusive and diverse as the state is. So we want to make sure our administration looks like the state of Maryland. And we are proud to have 2 Muslim Americans as secretaries in this leadership roles in the cabinet. Is there someone there in the back? Who is that? Oh, I'm sorry, you had to raise your hand. He's waving. Okay, so we're proud to have Secretary Atif Chaudhry, who is the head of Department of General Services, as well as Superintendent Muhammad Chaudhry. So again, we want to build a leadership cabinet that looks exactly like the state of Maryland. So thank you very much for having me here. You know, one other thing that I would like to also recognize is the fact that the Moore-Miller administration looks forward to celebrating all faiths in the government house. As a matter of fact, when the governor and the first lady hosted Iftar last week, it was the first religious ceremony and celebration that they have ever done in the government house. So we will continue to do this each and every single year. We want the Muslim American community to feel welcome, and they will always have a seat at the table. We are going to build a state that is equitable, where everyone can thrive, as you heard earlier. That is the mission of the Moore-Miller administration, that we will build a state where no one is left behind. So thank you for in every single way, how you contribute to the great state of Maryland. And I also want to recognize Frank Islam and his beautiful wife, Debbie, who are here, for all that you do also here in the state of Maryland. Again, thank you for having me. And I do have 2 citations I'd like to present. Thank you. Okay, so this is for the foundation.
Okay.
So this is Hi.
Thank you.
This is for
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor, for the citation. That's a beautiful speech and very inclusive speech. That's really an inspiring speech that inspires all of us. Lieutenant Governor has been volunteering with the food pantry for some time, and she's always been there to help us, Christmas baskets and everything. And so it's been years and years of her participation. And so I'm very grateful and thankful for her very kind recognition for all of us in the organization, and really honored for your kind words. Thank you so much. Thank you. I would like to now invite Mr. Momin Bare and Mr. Sultan Chaudhry to recognize the welcome elected officials.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you. We can assure you that when the call to prayer, when you hear the call to prayer, we're done. That's your signal. I think Council President already recognized the council members, but we might as well go ahead and repeat those names. Council President Evan Glass, thank you for being here. Councilmember John Lutke, Councilmember Kate Stewart. I think Gabe Alvarez couldn't be here. We also have representatives from Chris Van Halen, Ashima, Talwar is here. Thank you. Robria, Dusty is here. And we have someone representing David Trone, Jessica Spielman is here. Thank you for being here. And I would like to go ahead. You want to recognize the ambassador?
Thank you very much, our elected officials, to be with us in your heart, in your presence, and in your spirits. We also want to recognize the ambassador of Bangladesh, Mohammad Imran, who is here, along with his first secretary, who is sitting there, and we appreciate their presence here. The representative ambassador of Pakistan, Mr. Gul, is he here or not yet? So we'll recognize him, but we do appreciate their spirits and joining the community. Oh, Mr. Gul, all right.
Also want to recognize Roland, representing Councilmember Lorian Sales. He's here. We have Salman Qadir Ahmed, the chair of the Montgomery County Democratic Central Committee. We have some of the luminaries who have always been with us. Tara Learman, thank you for always being here. Director Jim Stowe, thank you for always being here. I'm sure we're missing some folks, but we apologize because we have to move on. Do we have?
I'm glad Terry is here. Yeah. I'm glad Terry is here representing both yourself and your beautiful daughter, the Comptroller of State of Maryland.
I think she might be coming. She'll be with us. Do we have Sister Rahima Abdul Alim in the room from the White House? She will be here. She's supposed to be here. So with that, I'd like to welcome Sarah Wallach to say just brief remarks.
Although the Lieutenant Governor already recognized, as Sarah is coming up, I want to recognize Frank Islam and his beautiful wife, a great tower in this community that can do a lot of good things. And we are glad you could make the time to come here. Thank you.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. Ramadan Mubarak to everyone. Assalamu alaikum. For those who I haven't met, my name is Sarah Wallach. I just joined the delegation from District 16, which is essentially Bethesda, Potomac, and parts of Chevy Chase, where I'm serving as a delegate in the General Assembly. I just want to take a moment and talk about Ramadan and us being here today. As a child, I remember breaking the fast in my grandmother's home, and that memory still stays with me today. We used to have sharbat and chole and samosas, and it was just a really wonderful way for all of us to come together. And now, as a professor at University of Maryland, I actually teach self-leadership, and I teach well-being, and all of those lessons that are part of the fabric of our faith, such as self-discipline that we learn during this month, such as empathy to connect with those who do not have enough food or enough resources, such as the ability to be really present in the moment. All of those lessons have been in a very different form, and many people are coming on board and understanding what well-being and purposeful life and intention is about. But we have been practicing that as a community, and I just want to recognize everybody today for this wonderful month that we're participating in, and just Ramadan Mubarak. And thank you for the opportunity to speak. I wasn't expecting to. But I guess this is part of the fun of being in this position. So thank you again.
Thank you, Delegate Sarah Wallach. You all made us very proud. So a big hand for her. Ken? So now comes the time to do my presentation. I promise I won't take very long time, and I'll make it as brief and less painful as possible. So as you all know, I'm the president of Montgomery County Muslim Foundation. MCMF is a grassroots, non-profit, tax-exempt charitable organization established by the Muslim residents of the county. Its vision, we can put up the slide, please. Its vision is to help promote a hunger-free and a hate-free society. Our sole mission is selflessly help the poor and needy residents of the county, irrespective of their race, color, or religion. So I have to give you a background of MCMF and MCMC since we are hosting this program together and we are closely connected in terms of the founders that we both had and mutually shared. So let me briefly give you a background of the organization, just a short snapshot as to what we are and how we progressed. It is more and more important today as we have lost both most important founders of these organizations, Mr. Tufail Ahmed and Dr. Akil Rahman, were pillars of our community, were our founders, our friends, our mentors, and great humanitarians that we have lost. In 2003, a group of Muslim residents under the leadership of Mr. Tufail Ahmed and Dr. Rahman with other Muslim leaders formed Montgomery County Muslim Council, with the objective to engage the Muslim community in civic, humanitarian, and political engagement in Maryland, encouraging Muslims to perform community service projects for the county and put into practice what the Islamic faith encouraged us to do. So MCMC really started with very limited funding and other resources were very tight, and started off with 3 projects, conducting food drive for manna and distributing Christmas and Thanksgiving baskets. By 2003-8, these programs had been further developed and became better known to the county government and the public. The then county executive, Ike Leggett, invited MCMC leadership and told them that MCMC was doing great work and service to the county, and they recommended that MCMC set up an independent nonprofit so that they can be eligible for grants, which can really benefit them in their nonprofit work. This was the genesis for our setting up the MCMF, an independent nonprofit, in 2008. The county then allocated its first grant of $85,000 to us in 2009. So where we are today, next slide, please. So we currently run, we have like 5 major programs in the areas of food, in the areas of refugee rehabilitation, youth programs, seniors, women empowerment, and clothing division. So all our programs really mainly fall under the food program, which has really expanded quite a bit. In 2022, food service program distributed over 200,000 pounds of food to the needy residents. Food pantry distributed around 133,580 pounds of groceries, and every month we have a drive-through distribution.
So this was the part 2 of MCMC and MCMF of Iftaar in collaboration with Montgomery County Executive, and you will see the part 3, which is the last one, in the next live telecast. And this is Dr. Afshan Hashmi, live from Florida studio of K4HD Radio and Talk4 TV. And I just wanted to remind you that these are my 2 books. The first one is The Modern Mughal Mentality, New Strategies to Succeed in India and the Global Marketplace. And the second one is The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection. These 2 books were Amazon bestsellers, and The Modern Mughal Mentality was also hot #1 new release on Amazon. I'm a full-time author, folks, so these 2 books, the sale of these 2 books bring food to the table. So please go and buy these 2 books and give me an honest review. And for my Modern Mughal Mentality, I want a documentary to be made. So all those documentary producers, please contact me at afshan@drafshanhashmi.com. And for my second book, The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection, I want a movie or a web series or a TV serial to be made. I have already written a script. So all those producers who produce movie, web series, or TV serial, please contact me at afshan@drafshanhashmi.com, and I have already written the script. I'm also looking for literary agents, for by this book, The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection. If they can take it to a big publishing house, and I have other projects forthcoming for literary agents. So, literary agents, if you are listening, please contact me at afshan@drafshanhashmi.com. Now, I will sign off from this episode and see you next Thursday at 6 p.m. US Eastern Time. And I want Rebel to please play the sponsorship commercial and also the book commercial, and then the program will conclude. And I am signing off. Cheers and bye bye.
Hello everyone, this is Dr. Afshan Hashmi live from a barn country club in Virginia, and I just wanted to say that my K4HD radio and Talk 4 TV show called Meet and Greet with Dr. Afshan Hashmi is syndicated worldwide and has more than 300 million listeners. And if you want these shows to continue, please give a sponsorship, and I request to please give a sponsorship because these shows require a lot of energy and money to produce. So I would request everyone to give me sponsorship, and your product will be promoted in a very reasonable price, and you can contact me at afshan@drafshanhashmi.com. Cheers and bye bye.
Would you love exposure for your business, product, or service to over 300 million potential listeners? Send an email to info@talk4media.com. And now let's hear from some of our sponsors.
A monstrous infection is spreading worldwide. Oh my God, is this a simple infection or a deliberate attempt to ruin the human population? Or maybe it's bioterrorism. What is this global infection and who is spreading it? Help us find out. Go to Amazon and search for The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection. The human race needs your help to make this go viral. Go to Amazon.com and read The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection to find out what happens next. Go now. The world is depending on you.
The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection, Chapter 1, 1964 to 2018, and this is the sample track, and it is read by Dr. Afshan Hashmi. In a sprawling bungalow in Potomac, Maryland, USA, lived Dr. Honey Singh, a board-certified internal medicine and family practice physician, along with his beautiful wife, Baby Singh. Baby Singh was a fashionista and was funding women's causes through her Honey Babe Foundation. She had a ladies' book club by the name of Baby's Glam and Glitzy Club, which had many glam and glitzy ladies who were professionals living in Washington, D.C., Potomac, Maryland, Virginia, and even Beverly Hills, California, as well as elites from all of America meeting at her place on the last Wednesday of every month, discussing various aspects of charities they wanted her and Dr. Honey to fund. In this club, there was a wide spectrum of career women. There were doctors, lawyers, actresses, business owners, and models, to name a few. In these book club meetings, members would come prepared after reading a book of a famous woman author, and that author was even invited from any part of the world to give her presentation, followed by a Q&A in this prestigious and elite gathering.
You've been listening to Meet and Greet with Dr. Afshan Hashmi on K4HD Radio and Talk4TV. Tune in live right here every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Would you love exposure to your business, product, or service to over 300 million potential listeners? Send an email to info@talk4media.com. And remember, if you missed any part of this show or want to hear it again, find our featured show on iHeartRadio or YouTube, where all past episodes are available on demand 24/7. See you next Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on K4HD and Talk4TV.
Okay, we're clear.
Okay. Thank you, Rebel. Bye-bye.